Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of the True Light Show, Perspectives of Your Own Infinity. And I must say that I cannot I cannot read a script or have a pre-written script to have you've seen how people when they do their own podcast thing, they say like a lot of stuff like almost like a minute and they repeat it. I was trying to imitate that, and that just doesn't go with me. Which brings us to the topic of today that you are the offer. Like, whatever service, product, anything that you're building, that you're wanting to express, it's not really the form it takes. It's really the frequency where it's coming from. And this is so important because the frequency is what is magnetic, is what is going to align you with the synchronicities and everything that is included with your highest excitement. Again, the backbone of my work, of my service, is around your highest excitement, mirroring. This is like where I am so powerful at. I can speak about it in my sleep, and that's exactly what your offer should feel like. What you're here to give, you can do it because you are it, right? It's something so natural for you. It is what you dismissed because your environment, how you grew up, because part of the contrast here is that your light is shunned, is dimmed down, so you can adjust to the matrix, to the collective programming, right? If not, you wouldn't have survived. I'm sorry to say it, but you wouldn't have. So it's part of the game. And while we are working through surviving, basically, right, all of those programs that were installed and embedded in our field were part of the survival mechanism of where we chose to incarnate, right? The bloodline, the family, the environment, the culture, your country, like all of that is pure energetics. Just let me put my phone on mute. Yes. So once I start doing things as other people are doing it, I'm blocked. Like it blocks my flow completely. Some things do work, other things don't. So your guidance here is very important because you can imitate and you can model. Meanwhile, you're practicing. Meanwhile, you're crawling and learning to stand up and walk, right? With your own true frequency. So you are going to imitate. You are going to do and go by other people's rules until you understand what's your own energy, what you're here to offer, what's your true frequency, where you're going to build all your expression around, where you're going to craft your products, your services, your the way that you're here to be of service to others. But the frequency always is your joy, is your own fulfillment, is that play state energy that I call it. Like for me, I go back to where I was a little kid and I was drawing. Every time I draw, it's like I was in my imagination just grounding the energies of whatever I was daydreaming with. So when I access that play state and I measure it against what is it that I'm doing right now, is it coming from that frequency or not? So if it's not coming from the play state, I know it's not for me to do, period. Because there's nothing else you're here to do but play with and from your true self frequency. And why play? Because why wouldn't you? Why do you want to work and hustle and make it so difficult? Right? We do that out of unconsciousness, out of the programming and conditioning. And you don't trust that that play state is going to get you everywhere you need to go, that it's already and coded in your field. So you're not really, you are, but you're not creating your path. Like your path is there, you're just choosing how you go about it. So basically you're just allowing it to move through you. And that's the beauty of this. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. It feels like a never ending you being a child playing. Truly, that's how it feels. So most of the people that I see that are they're struggling with how to follow their highest excitement and how to monetize it. Like it's so disconnected that the two can just be one when I see no I see no distinctions. I see no difference. And the reason why, like at least for me, I had no other choice but to follow my highest excitement. And little by little, by taking those small leap of faith, right? I started trusting and seeing, oh wow, it was already included. Even the how to market, it's already included. If I was if I were to go and study marketing just for the sake of studying marketing, it's boring. Like, no, I don't want that, right? But I ended up being taking, digital marketing courses because of my highest excitement. That was like my next step. And it was only to really discover that I was already tapping into the same strategies just through following my highest excitement, just through following Bashar's formula. It's incredible. I was intuitively doing the things, those strategies, those whatever techniques, structures they already have. I was intuitively already tapping into it from a joyful place, not because I have to in order to grow out my audience or make the sale or whatever. No, no, you're missing the point. The point is to play and be joyful in the now. So when you receive the guidance from your higher self, when you're co-creating with your higher self, because you still feel disconnected and you don't feel as one with it yet, right? Because you are God, there's no difference. But you feel the separation still, so you feel like you need the guidance and receive the signs on the outside, but it's all you doing it to yourself. So from that perspective, you act on that impulse. And that energy, that frequency is your true gift. It's not even how it's packaged, whether it's coming through painting, right? Through art, through music, through mathematical whatever, through a product that you create that you want to sell because it is so you, it is so beautiful. It doesn't matter the package in the outer world, in the form of it, in the 3D world of form. What matters is your alignment with the true energetics of your being, how your soul truly wants to express. That's what's the mark of true success. A lot of people align with it without knowing they're doing so. It's like, imagine you are cooking and you're just pouring on stuff and you don't know what amount you're using of each ingredient. And it turns out so good, right? But you really don't know what you did. You really don't know how much of salt or sugar or milk you used. But it turned out good. So the same thing goes for a lot of successful people, that they just nailed it, but they don't really know what they are doing that actually created the success. Because the success is not the material stuff that you get. It's how joyful you are regardless of how things look. When Bashar says only state of being matter, circumstance don't matter. And by the way, I'm not editing this. This is not my highest excitement to edit the video, only to add the art in the thumbnail that I feel a lot of joy doing it. But editing these little mistakes, which actually are not really mistakes, they're just I'm working through my own energetic blocks. Because while I'm speaking, sometimes I'm just in flow and sometimes I'm having my false self coming in. And every time I have those thoughts, like right now, it interrupts the flow. And that's where it shows up as little mistakes that I'm having. I'm already alchemizing in real time as I'm speaking. So while you're doing your thing, while you're creating your offer, your product, your services, how you're here to share your gift with the world, you're already working with the blocks that are in the way of you being fully yourself expressed in physical form. So for me, how I work through the energies is different. For example, they teach in sales that you don't create the content of your offer until you have the clients already buying it. And then you create the content. That may work for them. Does it work for me? Right? For me, the way I work, I have to design the website with the energy of the transmission of the thing that I'm here to offer. Every time I upgrade, I have to create art. When I'm creating digital art, I am channeling the energies of the new me, of the new upgraded me. So I anchoring it, I'm bringing it into my body, I'm becoming it, and then I share it. Because while I'm working through the art, when it doesn't flow, I know it's blocked. So I'm working through an idea, a belief. So through working through it, I'm becoming aware of what it is and I'm dissolving it while I'm playing, right? So I'm playing and dissolving blocks. And that's the rhythm. That's the contrast. That's the duality. That's the light and the dark. You play and you're growing more into more awareness of who you are. And you're dissolving the blocks that are keeping you from that awareness as you play, as you cook, as you go to the gym, as you create the video, as you speak to people, as you whatever it is that you're doing, that it just feels so genuine for the moment, that it feels so that the space, the moment is asking from you, it's summoning it through you. And that's what you need to be loyal to, that alignment within yourself. Because any betrayal, you're not betraying anybody outside of you. You're betraying yourself. Or people are not really betraying you. They're just showing you where you betrayed yourself. I've seen lots of manifestation coaches and, spiritual teachers, when they speak about what somebody else did to them, I'm like, okay, are they really taking full accountability of how they created that and how that's a mirror for something within themselves they haven't seen yet? Because just the fact that you're speaking as if someone did something to you, I don't know. For me, it just invalidates completely full self-empowerment. And I know Bashar says, yes, you don't condone whatever other people's negative behavior, but I feel he says that because the level of maturity he's talking to is still not that developed that they can fully take accountability for full blown abuse and whatever you want to call it, because it's very, very triggering for people, because people haven't healed enough to get to a place to understand the mirrors. And I had to go through that. I had to go through that in order to, okay, if I create my reality, I have to take full responsibility that really nobody's doing anything to me. And that's what changes everything. Like, that truly changed that dynamic and my empowerment and my sovereignty and my authenticity and my ability to truly follow my highest excitement and trust it. I haven't seen someone like me. They're still like plugged into these weird programs that they're not aware of. When people come into my field, into my energy, I can feel the programs they're working through. Because the programs, the way it works is the program comes from separation from source. So it needs energy to survive. So if you are disconnected from your awareness of source, who's feeding energy into that program? The little bit of energy that you get from your alignment, that momentarily, oh, this is me energy and understanding and playful and peaceful and at ease and in stillness, it goes to feed the programs. So if you're not constantly feeding it, it's being fed from the interaction with others, with it, which ultimately it is still all you, but they're still getting that grasping, that wanting to hook into other people's energy, right? Like when they say energy vampires, it is a real thing. It doesn't have power over you. They're only taking your energy because you're leaking. Like that's the real deal here. They're taking your energy because you are leaking energy. Okay? Nobody can do anything to you that you haven't done to yourself first. And yes, this can go in very, very deep, delicate subjects of whatever we're seeing outside, right? Child abuse, child trafficking, and all of that stuff. But when you truly understand that the soul, from the soul perspective, what we go through is really not a thing. Just like when your child is having a nightmare, you know he's safe and sound. Even though he is having the experience and he's going through the motion and it is real for them as an experience, yes, but not ultimately. So that's where the balance comes in. Yes, they have forgotten. They create their reality. They have forgotten. They chose very dark topics to transcend. And the reason they chose it is because it's the fastest way, if we want to see it from that linear perspective, to get to where they want to go, to work through certain topics that the soul wants to experience, right? So we cannot judge why someone chooses what they're choosing. Eventually, we can only have compassion in terms of not judging, first and foremost, and secondly, not getting involved if it's not part of your theme, right? Because the moment you try to help, that help is mostly coming from your own wounding. And I'm already digressing a lot. But my point is, we all have something that we came here to work through, to transcend, because we are powerful, eternal, indestructible beings. What your soul is doesn't compare to what you think you are in physical form. So it is so important for you to release everything that you're not. All those ideas that poor me, that this thing is happening to me, they're doing this to me, like they're bullying me. Like, believe me, I went through lots of stuff that I didn't understand why. But it was to realize, oh, okay, this is how the collective programs work and this is how it feels. Now I get to help people because not only I have the direct knowledge, because I am claircognizant and clairsentient, but as I have the experience to back it up as well. Because before it felt like something was off, I could speak about these things, but the first thing people would attack me was, you haven't had that experience, you don't know what you're talking about. And it was true from my human perspective. I didn't have the experience. I just had the knowledge directly channeled, which it was still true, right? But me going through the experiences through the dark path that I went through gave me the human component to actually, I understand how hard it feels, but we can do it and we can make it. And that's what we do in Reflectorium. We collapse all those patterns, the false self identity. You believe, you have stories, you have ideas that you're really not consciously aware of, and they're working in your detriment. Everything is for your expansion. So when I say in your detriment is you want to go to the right, but your body's pulling to the left, right? But ultimately, it is still for your growth, for your expansion. And when you have that mindset that even though it looks like a bad thing, it's actually for your well being, it's for something that has a greater, it will bring a greater understanding of who you are. All of it. So when you peel those layers of the false self, your true frequency comes online. And now, how you come and package and create your offer, your services, now it's going to be built from something that's going to be sustainable over time because it's the truth. It's your true frequency. It's not going to be demolished just because you're shifting from one identity to the other. Because if you build a business or anything built on the false self, once those programs are dissolved, what happens to the reality that was created from that energy is going to be dissolved too. But if you're building from your true frequency, you're just compounding. You're going to build a skyscraper. You're going to be building it layer by layer. Because that foundation is real. That foundation is truth. So it doesn't matter if you keep expanding in the identity of who you truly are, it will compound on what you have built before instead of destroying the whole house to build a new one. No, you already have the foundation for 10, 20, 50, 1,000 stories up. You see the difference? Before, you built the house and you try to build the second story, but there's no foundation for it. So what's going to happen? It'll collapse eventually. So you're going to have to destroy the whole house, build the foundation, and you're starting again. So instead of starting again every time, you build from truth. So your offer, your transmission is already rooted in the truth of who you are. Actually, your transmission can only be rooted in the truth of who you are. There will be no transmission. There would be mind, curiosity, and there's always expansion through the mind and through the ego self and the illusion of staying in the knowledge within the world. But I'm not talking to that type of people. Like, if you're listening to me, you're not that. You are the one that really wants to create from your truth, not from scarcity anymore. You don't want to build from fear. You don't want to build from manipulation. You don't want to get audience through egoic tactics. You don't. The strategy is your true self. You become the strategy. Everything that comes from that true frequency is absolutely whole. It includes everything you're going to need, even the things that you cannot even imagine that's going to be on your way, on your path. They're already included. I've had visions from 5 years ago of things that they were so far away of compared to where I was, that there was no, like, I couldn't connect the dots. But I loved it. I loved the energy. I loved how it felt, me going into that state. But I never made it a thing because I felt, wow, it is so disconnected. I don't even know how this is going to be true. But eventually, every time those visions started to materialize, I'm like, wow, I would have never connected the dots on how this was going to be built. And you really want it that way. You don't want to know the plan. Believe me, you don't. You just want to have the joyful ride. You don't really want to know how a car is built. You just want to drive the car, right? Unless your highest excitement is to build cars. But that is your analogy of riding the car. So you are the offer. Your transmission is the offer, whichever way it is packaged, whichever way it is wrapped. What's important is the energetics behind the things that you're doing every morning when you wake up. Are you waking up, allowing your body to tell you what to do, but not from addiction, right? But from the joy of being alive. That's what you get when you dissolve and collapse the patterns of the false self. And that's what we do in Reflectorium. Like, I'm so good at pinpointing programs in people and in myself, because the reason I can is because I know you're me. So there's no separation, right? So if you want to work through your programs, my gosh, join us in Reflectorium. It's amazing. I love it so much because this is something I wish I could join, you know. But that's the thing, that the thing that you think you're waiting from the outside to be delivered to you, it's going to be built through you. That's your body of work. That's your legacy. Your big dream that you don't know you have starts to become visible because all the false layers starts to dissolve, they start to collapse, and the true self frequency starts to shine, your true light. Thank you so much for joining me. I my my I don't know, something weird happened to me with my English and my Spanish. I don't feel I'm fluent in English. I don't feel I'm fluent in Spanish. It just became like a mix of a weird, I don't know. Like a I don't even know how to explain it. But I trust. I trust that I can use that to my advantage. I trust that my mistakes in the way I'm wording things, because there is the transmission that's really backing it up, it will make the point to the ones that I'm here to speak to. Generally, I'm not speaking to your mind. I'm speaking to your heart. So if anyone comes here with logic and with proof and with whatever left brain methodology they need, it's not going to work. It will work, but through triggering them. It is still healing, but that's not the people I want to work with. There are certain people that I know that I can take them so much farther because of my capacity to feel people and to channel what the space, what the moment requires. And what we do in Reflectorium, like the people we have right now, they're taking so much, and I'm giving it fully, joyfully, because it is my highest expansion, my highest passion to do so. You know, like I'm fully there. You're not buying a course that you're gonna watch pre-recorded. Like, no, you get me live. And we don't record the sessions because people open up to very deep, dark, you know, stuff. And that's how we're able to work through the programs, through honesty, through full transparency. This is not me preaching. This is you taking the stage for whatever you need. And what I do, I just feel you where you are, and whatever needs to come through gets dissolved. And that's the magic I bring. That's what I do. I am also a certified Reconnective healing practitioner. And those frequencies that I was attuned to, they come into the space as well. So if you want to join us, please take a look at the website or message me through social media, whichever way. And I'll see you in the next episode.